I'm here with Drunk Sports, your boy Kid Chocolate, getting here and spreading love and knowledge, man, and making awareness for everything that we're doing right here with Drunk Sports. God bless y'all.
God bless. TOI, this calling these people out. I would like to see that fight. I probably want to see the Rolly fight before that. And there's a couple other fights I might want to see first. But let's get actually into the meat and potatoes of the fight, right?
Let's go.
I will say this. I was like, I wonder what's gonna happen. Lupe walked him out to superstar. I was like, this is gonna be a night. Kind of like I knew, and this is crazy. This has nothing to do with the technical sweet science of boxing. When Eminem popped out on Terrence Crawford walkout, I was like, oh, Spencer's done. It's just a feeling I had, you know what I'm saying? It had nothing to do with it, but I just felt the energy. So that was dope. I was like, okay, he coming out with Lupe. That's a good look. That's, you know what I mean? He understands the moment. He understands what this is, right? I felt Ryan had a little bit of nervous energy when he first got into the ring. Like you said, like you had stated, I mean, he is a pressure fighter. He is a puncher. He's gonna stay on you the whole fight. All 12 rounds, he's gonna come forward. That's mentally and physically exhausting. So I was like, I think Ryan's gonna. I thought Ryan was gonna wash him, but I did have my doubts. Listen, Ryan is real fast. He started out working the jab. You can see him and Derek James was working on that jab. That really wasn't in Ryan's tool bag. He did abandon it at certain points, but I'm watching Ryan in those first couple of rounds, and I'm saying to myself, yo, this kid has all the fucking tools in the world to be a world-class fucking guy. Fast twitch, the speed, the power, the elusiveness, the counter punching, the timing, the accuracy. He has a good chin. All shit you can't teach, right? You can't teach that type of shit. Skill-wise, right?
Real quick, what I noticed with the jab, he was contemplating whether or not, because he was throwing it not even he was kind of slapping it like as Briggs would say, he was like pimping it, like slapping it. But he was also trying to figure out whether he was going to check hook him.
Yeah.
So he was am I going to jab this dude or am I just going to check hook him? So he was in between thoughts about it. You know what I mean? But I want to cut you off.
Yeah, absolutely. You can see him thinking in there. Absolutely.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. And credit to Derek James and credit to Ryan for being coachable. You know what I'm saying? You can see the development, right? But I do want to say this.
Yeah.
Yo, Q, what you think about, you know what I'm saying? I call it the West Covina shell. Here you go. I call it the West Covina shell. I don't know if he learned that from the great Sergio Moro, right? Or is that the silly shell, as they've been calling it on Twitter?
That was the James Tony shell right there. That wasn't the Floyd shell. I don't know. I'm not sure what that was, but
that was the Tony shell. That shit. It was more like pause. Like it was a domestic violence shell. It was like hitting you, and you're like, yo, chill, yo. You don't want to hit her back, so you're like, chill. It was like, come on, like, you know what I'm saying? Yo, shorty, chill. Like, shorty, chill. It really wasn't, eloquent or athletic. You know what I mean? It was more like reflexive. You know what I mean?
I know this is not a popular opinion, and a lot of people immediately shit on the show, and Ryan kind of led that charge because he made the joke about Derek James said, stop doing that shit. You ain't Floyd, and never do that shit again. But I actually liked it in certain spots. Now, it didn't work at all. He was susceptible to that left uppercut and that left cross a lot doing that show. But in certain spots, it worked. Q, what do you think?
I agree. I think he definitely caught Duarte off, and Duarte didn't make no in-game adjustments, because if Duarte did start realizing, he would have threw way more left hands, because he's doing all this, but his body was still kind of open. So if he's throwing a left hook to the body shot, he probably going to hit him a little bit more. But instead, Duarte still wants to try to punch him in his head, and he's hitting him in the back of his head. You know what I mean? He's getting cold, and he's going to get some. And that's kudos to Ryan Garcia. He noticed, and he abused the shit out of it. And eventually, Duarte, if he don't fix it by the fifth round, he's gonna lose points. But I was
Ryan should have got Duarte out of there faster than that. I'm sorry, Duarte. Not to cut you off. Duarte doesn't move his head. No lateral movement. A pressure fighter that doesn't punch. You know what I'm saying? Like that fight. No, I've seen him punch before. But that fight, he was a little bit leery of Ryan's power. He was definitely on alert for that check left hook. You know what I'm saying? You can see that he was that hook wasn't landing the whole night. Ryan even started going to the right hook, and then he winds up landing it. But I think Duarte let him off the hook a little bit. And Duarte, can we please, before you do anything with anything, learn how to cut the fucking ring off or get an 18-foot fucking ring. Do something because he was dancing on you all night. That was terrible.
All night.
For a pressure fighter not to be able to learn, not to be able to cut the ring off like that was terrible, man.
And I want to ask you guys, because this is what I was kind of worried about too.
I mean, frozen. Hold on, see if we can get him back. Yeah, no, that was terrible, man.
Yeah, and then
we'll get it. Hopefully, get a king. I mean, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
All right, here we go. Yeah.
And then what I was thinking about the like the shoulder roll, like the first thing that came to my thought was like, yo, did the Tank Davis really fuck him up where he's just like worried of getting hit there? Because that was the same side. You know, the commentator said it too, and that's what I was thinking too, because we saw Duarte going for his body a little bit because he didn't start that shoulder roll shit up until like almost like after the first like 3-4 rounds. And that's when I don't know if he started feeling something or like, and we know he got fractured ribs. So I don't know if he's incorporating that because out of fear and mentality. I think that's something that Derek James is going to have to just work up out of him. But that was what my 2 cents was. I was like, all right, because it's working for him, but it's not going to work for him all the time. But it's also just like concerning if it's still bothering him after all this time.
I'm gonna flip that though, Q. I think that is, pun intended, a bit of boxing IQ on Ryan Garcia's behalf because he was trying a few things. Yeah. Because remember, he got on his bike. A bit, you know what I'm saying? And like
De La Hoya Trinidad shit, yeah.
Exactly. And he did react to it to where he started. But isn't that what we want to see? Because, and I mentioned this on the last show, when we know a fighter is known to be a knockout fighter or known to be a big puncher, and then, he's posed with a different challenge, what does he do differently? And so when you talk about, is he carrying some fear from the Tank Davis fight? Sometimes think of Canelo Floyd. You get an education. You go from a master's to a PhD when you get in the ring with certain guys. And so I think he realized at a point, there was some fear. He's like, yo, I don't want to get hit to the body. And this guy's been knocking everybody else the fuck out, right? So he had to kind of feel it and go through, living through that fear, taste it a little bit, get hit to the body. Like, I ain't go down off this one. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He had to go through that. And to see him kind of evolve in this fight, people can say what even Clarissa Shields said, yo, I want to see what he's doing with this leaning over with his chin. Sure, he's got a lot of shit to work on, but against a shorter fighter that was only going overhand and he was rolling it, I don't think he was concerned about his chin. I'm just talking about you know what I'm saying? If you know somebody's going to keep coming overhand, even if you leaning over, you're going to pull back or you're going to roll.
Yeah. He's doing the TikTok,
and he's quick enough to do it. So
I think he has to clean that up. I mean, because that straight pullback, you know what that is? All that is muscle memory. And I forgot who said it. I looked at so much stuff this week. All he got to do is get back in the gym consistently and retrain the way your muscles think, if that makes any sense. You know what I'm saying? Yep. Those are just bad habits, and sometimes you revert to those. One last thing about Duarte, man. Duarte, he was calculated. I think he could have thrown way more punches. You remember when he fought Alex Martin? He was throwing a lot more punches to the body, up top. With Ryan, he seemed to be very worried about those counter punches, to the timing of it. Yeah.
You gotta respect that. Even Tank said that though,
Yeah.
He can hit you. He's just so quick. He can hit you. You know what I'm saying? He's
lightning fucking quick. Ryan got to go back to the lab, and there's some shit he has to work on. But look, like Malik Scott and Deontay Wilder, man, when he first hooked up for that last Fury fight, you seen Deontay coming out trying to shoot the jab to the body and all that. Then he kind of abandoned it. Let these guys get their rhythm together. Let's judge him maybe after the third fight or something like that. When they have a little time to work together. To your point, I mean, he does take instruction well. He seems like, the knock on Ryan was always, you don't train with Ryan. You kind of just take the ride with Ryan or whatever they were saying. He definitely listens to Derek James. You see the way he speaks about him. He talks about him in high regard. And I think he has a lot of respect for Derek James. And to be honest with you, Derek James needed this win as much as Ryan Garcia did, in my opinion.
Real quick, do you think it's a big cultural difference as far as like, boom, Ryan is, Mexican-American, but maybe just being more of an LA kid, you know what I'm saying? And Derek James can relate to him a little more. you know, they want him down on some cholo time, and he's like, yo, I ain't with that. You know what I mean? I ain't with La Raza. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, he's not. He's more like absolutely, that's a good point. He fits in, even though he's Mexican American. I feel like he fits in with Spence and them. You seen him at the fight with Spence and Danny, betting, talking shit, and you know, he got Lupe walking him out, and you know, like he's just more of like a younger generation, you know, the cultural hip hop type of kid. You know what I'm saying?
And I'll take it a step further. We ain't gonna go too far, but he's more Latino than Hispanic.
Yeah, facts. Yeah,
you know what I'm saying, like it seems like there's more. You know what I mean? Like that's more of the Caribbean vibes where we can relate. So that's how you fall in with them guys over there. You know what I'm saying? But shout out to Ryan, man. What you guys think is next to him? Rolly or Broner or what?
Hold up, I want to play a clip, but before you, I just wanted, because that was a really good point you man. I mean, and me and Q was just on the phone with his cousin about an hour ago, who's locked up. He up in the hills somewhere, right? And we always say this. And if you're from the tri-state area, you're gonna notice, and this is to your point, the Brooklyn Puerto Rican niggas are different than the Bronx Puerto Rican niggas.
Absolutely.
And if you from his area, you understand what we're talking about. Absolutely. Ryan's more like a Brooklyn Puerto Rican nigga, and he was with them Bronx Puerto Rican niggas when he was out there. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
If you know, you know. But I'm gonna play a clip. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna play a clip from Rolly. I love Rolly, man. Rolly maybe he's not the most polished boxer, but he's the new AB. He knows how to sell a fight.